Hey guys, so I pulled the video down on X, not because of anything I felt that was wrong with it, but because it did such a good job in turning around the control issues that I decided that, I don't want anyone to get a bad impression on it because it had broken controls when the game launched. It's one of those things that I felt that it did such a quick turnaround that I just wanted to kind of reward them by removing any negativity out there about it. And they had basically what happened is they had a buggy profile. Now, if you're using certain types of joysticks, there's certain types of profiles or whatever. Like it was a general profile, which because my combination wasn't listed. I think they had like the X52 and the Thrustmaster on there, and also a general. And the profile they had in there was completely messed up. So basically, you couldn't get things to work right at all. It was a mess. But they've got it up and running. And it runs really smooth now. It's been a lot of fun. And as you can see here, I've upgraded a little bit past the starting ship to this. In fact, you can land a ship on here, and it's part of the UI at the top. Sorry, that's kind of the nature of it when I'm on a station. The gimbal weapons on this actually have kind of a slew rate, so you can't just like target something and they're going to automatically hit. You have to pilot actively, which is what I've talked about a lot in Star Citizen. So this does work equally as well with sticks, or if you're using a mouse to fly. So there's another game that gets the idea of the balance behind these things. Is this game closer to X Rebirth, or is it closer to Albion Prelude? And while there are elements that they kept from Rebirth, obviously getting up, walking around, things like that, it hails, I feel, more towards Albion. So they have gone back largely to their roots, which is great. I'm trying to play a more neutral game, more of a neutral approach, not picking a side just yet. What I like to do is you have these highways that you found them in X Rebirth as well. But I think they're better implemented here. In X Rebirth, you had to do that weird piloting thing. We ended up smacking into their ships. It was obnoxious. This kind of removes that. But one of the things I'd like to do to pick up missions is I like to follow these highways. And as you go past bases on the highways, you'll quickly scan like missions like right along the ones right along here. And right before I get to this gate to like jump into the next section, I will leave the highway and check and see if I picked up any missions by flying past, pick them up, and then continue down the road. And basically, I just make this gigantic circuit, right? I go all the way around, and I end up with a bunch of missions. Now, as you advance the game and as you get like bases and more ships, technically speaking, you could probably just sit here like I'm sitting here now and just issue orders. As you can see, the interface is a lot more user-friendly. A lot of the other X games, you had to drill down into menus. It was almost like opening folders. And here they've gone for a more... The user interface is closer to what you use for Windows and more logical. So what I could do is I can click on this, and then now I've selected that ship, and I can right click on this and then tell it what to do. So it's context sensitive. Like it's a lot more intuitive. Before it would be like select ship, select, and then you would be in like another subcategory, and then like select what actions, and then you have to go into another subcategory, and then you select that action and go, like go to, and then it was like where, and then it'd be like a list. It was just like drilling down into subfolders. It was very tedious. Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of the station. Now the flight model is going to be very similar to what you played in Albion Prelude, which is good. I mean, it's a classic style of flight. There's a decoupled mode and such, but it's very classic. So a lot of the ships don't have greater than a 90 degrees per second as far as a ratio for rotation. But typically that's only on one angle. Like for example, this ship, I have combat maneuvering thrusters on here. Now, like there's different types. There's types that are for like speed, some that are combat, some that are universal. The universal one tends to have rotation rates and things like for the yaw and stuff is high. Like the yaw here is, as you see, the yaw and is not very fast, but it has a much greater pitch and roll because that's the combat version, which is what I wanted. The other ones, the more universal, have the, generally speaking, like instead of having like the 90 degrees on this, we'll have something say like 50, but it'll have more yaw. So it lets you kind of adjust a bit to your flight style, but at the same time, there's the rotation rates on average, I would say, are probably about in the 60s. And this is a you know, it could be higher with a fighter. I kind of skipped to a freighter. But the point is that rotation rates are more classic, and that's important when it comes to like you know, positioning or kind of just getting into the whole flight combat dynamic. Generally speaking, the game is, you know, very much down to the roots and the basis of what you kind of have grown to know. So is it a worthy sequel to other X games where, you know, like, you know, X Rebirth in a sense is, it's almost right that it doesn't have a number after it, you know, doesn't have, and it is not actually X4. So this one's actually worthy of the number. The graphics are, well, they're nothing to write home about, but that's never really been the use a pun here a little bit. That's never been the foundation of what X games are. The foundation of what X games are is the background simulation, the universe simulation. Very similar to the way that you would have, you know, like when you deal with Bethesda, when they talk about Skyrim and things like that, how they want to simulate what NPCs are doing in the background, what they're doing out there in the real world. In a very similar respect, that's where the majority of what they do here is about. It's about the simulation, all the moving parts. So I'm going to go ahead and go mission shopping. By that I mean I'm going to do that circuit I was talking about, see what I can find. Now, apparently they fixed a few of these freezes that have been going on, including the one with when you save. I haven't checked that out yet, but I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, I like these heirloom ones. This is where I've captured most of my ships. So that one I might make priority. I would like to see them eventually incorporate track IR, and I didn't see any options for it. It doesn't appear to be set up that way. I think this is a wasted opportunity to not let you have track IR. Now, when you're doing an attack mission on these guys, because I'm not trying to kill this guy, though it's possible he'll eject if you get damaged enough. Oops, wrong one. That's a short range scan. But basically, if you attack them near a station, you can get in trouble. Station will call out your crimes because you're initiating an attack. So sometimes it's better just to follow them, get them a certain distance from a station before you pound on them. Now, boosting, of course, burns up shields. It's always a trade-off. Yeah, that's all I like things with trade-offs. Okay, so there's my dude right there. So you see the gimbals are trying to lead. I'm not going to hit at this range, but the guns are tracking, and there's a limitation how far they can move. See, they're at the limit. The limit is actually, the gimbals don't move that far. They have talking and not flying. So you have to work within that, and they have a slew rate. You see that they don't move that fast. Oh, I guess that was too close.
Stop your attack immediately.
There. Okay. Just enough that he drops his stuff. Now I better stop because my top turrets are going to want to wail on him. Whoa, dude. Oh, no, there goes my top turrets. Leave him alone, leave him alone. Alright. There we go. No, quick, easy money. This is definitely a return to form. So, I want to thank EgoSoft for fixing the control issue so quickly. That was really frustrating. That was painfully frustrating. And I think a lot of salt came out on that, and I do apologize. It was correct. Even Egosoft acknowledged that they had messed up the controls. It wasn't for everyone. I think if you were flying with mouse, or if you were using an X52 profile, or you were fine. But it was the profile that I was using, because I didn't have I think it was the general profile, because I didn't have an X52 set up using the T16000M and the TWCS, and so I didn't want to use the X52 profile, and I didn't want to use the Thrustmaster profile. So I went with the general to set everything. That was the one that was messed up. So those are my thoughts right now on X. I'm going to keep progressing. I put about probably close to 20-25 hours into it. And just as another side note about the channel, Lightning and I are probably going to talk about it a little bit later. There's more money. Basically, we're looking at retooling things a little bit. I don't like, especially with my work being the way it is, I want to change things that the Blastcasts come out only when there's something to talk about. Not on a Tuesday. And I just kind of want to make them more casual sometimes, and sometimes I want to make them a very focused and refined presentation, you know, maybe with animation and graphics. I feel that the Tuesday only kind of format is really kicking me in the head, because sometimes there's things that I want to cover or don't want to cover, and sometimes there's other games like this that I want to talk about, and I really can't do that very well when I am subject to a schedule. And also, there's a lot of times where Lightning and I were playing all these games that we have some amazing conversations, and I never record them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording all of that. Every time we play together, I'm recording it, because we get into the wildest discussions about game mechanics and missteps and other things like that. And those will be probably turn into extra casts, or there'll be parts of the Let's Plays. I'm not sure yet. I mean, the playlists, same thing really. So I haven't determined what exactly we're doing in that format, but the schedule is off the table. Anyway, so that's generally the thoughts on things. So X4, yes, it's a worthy successor to the X series, and there's gonna be some changes on the channel. I want to just kind of go back to like, do with a mic. I just want to have fun again. I want to have fun doing these things. I didn't intend this channel to go into it fighting the whole flight thing. I just wanted to make fun Star Citizen videos, and then maybe do some other games too. I mean, you can go all the way back to the first video. I just wanted to make fun videos, and it turned out that I ended up getting stuck in the middle of this gigantic pitched fight that I never wanted, but I felt that I had to take. And it's almost behind us. We'll have to see what happens in 3.5. But I feel if they get the flight down, then the rest will progress naturally. And we have a few more discussions on it, dealing with balancing damage on guns. And we were going to do a show on that on this Tuesday, but we decided that we weren't going to do that because basically it wasn't fully fleshed out, and we decided we didn't want to take attention off of. We didn't want to take the focus off of flight. We'll deal with the weapon issues after the weapons come out. I mean, after the flight comes out. Sorry. All right, everyone. That's about everything on this one. Maybe notice. Maybe I want to see if I can get this to format in the ultra wide format, and that'd be cool. I wonder what that'll do to my opening my title screen now. Who cares? It'll be an experiment. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.